And the promise attached to this mindset is profound. Surah 65 verse 3 says, "Whoever puts their trust in Allah, He is sufficient for them." It's so vital to remember that the Quran never promises an easy life, guaranteed wealth, or immediate worldly victory. The true measure isn't immediate results, it's faithfulness. But it does promise that Allah is enough. Sometimes what looks like an apparent worldly failure to us is actually the much, much greater spiritual success.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving right into a massive tension that, honestly, almost all of us feel on a daily basis. We live in this relentless go, go, go hustle culture, right? It constantly tells us we've got to micromanage and control absolutely every single variable if we want to succeed. But what happens when life inevitably throws something totally out of left field, something completely out of our control? How do we actually balance the need for intense, practical effort with the deep spiritual necessity of just surrendering the outcome?
So, how do we find peace when we cannot control the outcome? It's such a relevant question for us today. So much of our intense modern anxiety, and it is intense, stems directly from this exhausting attempt to control every tiny aspect of our lives, our careers, our relationships, you name it. Well, today we're going to explore a profound philosophical and psychological cure from the Quran, known as Tawakkul.
Here's our quick roadmap for this explainer. We're going to define intelligent reliance, then look at rejecting two opposite errors we often make. After that, we'll cover active preparation and effort, examine the prophets as our models, discuss how all of this leads to total freedom from anxiety, and then wrap the whole thing up with a complete Quranic formula.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Defining Intelligent Reliance. We really need to start right off the bat by dismantling a super common but entirely incomplete translation. A lot of times, Tawakkul is just casually translated as this passive trust in God. But actually, if we look at the Arabic root of the word, waw, kaf, lam, it literally means to entrust, to appoint as a guardian, or to rely upon someone capable of handling a matter. It describes a totally active choice. You are consciously entrusting your affairs to a highly capable guardian. And the Quran explicitly identifies Allah as al-Wakil, the perfect trustee. So this absolutely isn't about abandoning your effort, it's about recognizing who ultimately holds the reins of the whole universe.
Section 2. Rejecting two opposite errors.
As humans navigating life, we have this almost magnetic tendency to fall into two incredibly exhausting extremes. Over on one side, we have error 1, the illusion of absolute self-reliance. It's that arrogant little thought that says, I alone determine my success. The Quran flat out rejects this illusion because, let's be real, every ability, every opportunity, every outcome ultimately comes from Allah. But then on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, we have error 2, fatalism. That's the lazy trap of thinking, well, I'll just do nothing because Allah will handle everything. As the source material makes super clear, the Quran completely rejects both of these exhausting extremes.
Section 3. Active preparation and effort.
So if extreme self-reliance and fatalism are both wrong, what exactly is the middle path? Well, Surah 3, verse 159 outlines a very specific sequence, and this brilliantly illustrates the point. Notice the deliberate order of operations here. You start with consultation, then you make a firm decision, you take action, and only then do you have tawakkul. See? Trust is not a substitute for planning. Not at all. It is the final, absolutely crucial step that comes right after taking action.
This requires perfectly balancing human effort with divine sovereignty. Just take the command from verse 860, prepare against them whatever force you can. That demands maximum, robust effort. Yet, verse 3160 reminds us, if Allah helps you, none can overcome you. This just goes to show that victory is never, ever attributed merely to our preparation alone. We've got to do the physical work for sure, but the spiritual result, that belongs entirely to the divine.
Section 4. The prophets as models.
Transitioning from theological theory over to historical reality, the prophets are really our ultimate case studies for living under extreme pressure. Think about Prophet Nuh. He preached for centuries, facing overwhelming rejection. Yet he continued to rely completely on Allah, knowing full well he couldn't control the outcome. Or Prophet Ibrahim, who faced a literal fire, a truly terrifying reality. Yet he entrusted himself entirely to Allah. They acted vigorously, they worked tirelessly, but their trust remained absolutely rock solid, even when the visible, worldly circumstances around them were overwhelmingly negative.
Imagine the intense, dramatic weight of Prophet Musa's reality for a second. He is completely trapped between a raging sea in front of him and Pharaoh's hostile army closing in fast from behind. Visually, physically speaking, there is zero escape, none. Yet he boldly says, "No, indeed, with me is my Lord, he will guide me." He demonstrates this staggering confidence when absolutely nothing in the visible physical world justified it. Just incredible.
Or consider Prophet Muhammad during his intense migration. He's hiding out in a cave with his companion, with enemies literally searching for them right outside. And he says with total unwavering calm, "Do not grieve. Indeed, Allah is with us." What is so absolutely key to understand here is that he had already taken every single practical precaution. Planning the route, securing provisions, hiding his tracks, he did all of that before placing his complete trust in Allah.
So where does this unbreakable trust actually come from? Well, profound trust doesn't just magically appear from having favorable circumstances. It is deeply rooted in knowing the actual attributes of the one you are trusting. You can trust Allah because He is all-knowing, all-wise, all-powerful, most merciful, never unjust, never forgetful, and never incapable. When you truly deeply internalize these attributes, Tawakkul isn't just a nice idea, it's literally the only logical response.
Section 5, Freedom from Anxiety.
I really want to connect this directly to your own mental health today. Because let's face it, so much of our anxiety comes from blurring the lines of our actual responsibility. Think of it as a super clear division. Your lane requires sincere intention, righteous effort, moral conduct, and patience. That is your responsibility. Stay in it. Allah's responsibility is the outcome. Just think about the liberating relief that washes over you when you focus solely on your own responsibilities and willingly leave the ultimate outcome to the perfect trustee. It's a game changer.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how, because of this clear division, Tawakkul completely redefines the very concept of failure. Without this trust, a setback completely crushes your identity. You might say, "I failed because I'm worthless." But with Tawakkul, you say, "I did what Allah required. The outcome belongs to Him. I learn, I improve, and I continue." Failure transforms from this devastating identity crisis into incredibly valuable instruction.
And this perfectly frames how sincere prayer, or dua, fits into the picture. Prayer without effort, well, that's just presumption. But effort without prayer, that is pure arrogance. The Quran demands both. Sincere prayer is, in and of itself, an active expression of tawakkul when it's combined with genuine effort. You ask the Almighty for help while simultaneously doing absolutely everything within your lawful ability.
Finally, Section 6, the Quranic Formula. To reveal the grand finale of this explainer, I want to quickly walk you through this incredible 8-part Quranic formula. Just notice how it flows. It starts with seeking guidance, then believing, being mindful of Allah, acting wisely, and being patient. And only then, way down at step 6, do we reach trusting Allah, accepting His decree, and continuing to do good. So Tawakkul isn't just the basic starting line of belief, it is one of the highest, most mature expressions of the entire spiritual journey. And the promise attached to this mindset is profound. Surah 65 verse 3 says, "Whoever puts their trust in Allah, He is sufficient for them." It's so vital to remember that the Quran never promises an easy life, guaranteed wealth, or immediate worldly victory. The true measure isn't immediate results, it's faithfulness. But it does promise that Allah is enough. Sometimes what looks like an apparent worldly failure to us is actually the much, much greater spiritual success.
We'll conclude with this powerful thought summarizing our whole explainer. Tawakkul is the calm confidence that comes from doing absolutely everything asked of you while peacefully entrusting everything beyond your control to Him. It is not giving up your responsibility, it is giving up the illusion of control. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on. How much deep, lasting peace could you unlock in your own life today if you finally let go of the exhausting illusion that you control the outcome? Thanks for learning with me today.